Hi, I'm Norma Hollis, and I am delighted to have the opportunity to share with you the Authenticity Grid. It's going to help you to understand the Authenticity Grid as a tool for self-awareness and as a tool for authenticity. I developed the grid when I was 28 years old and didn't understand myself. I was very confused. I had done everything my parents had said do. I had the degree, I had the husband, I had the house, all those wonderful things, and I was miserable. And I didn't know what to do with the rest of my life. Mainly because I didn't know who I was and therefore what path I wanted to take in life. So I went on the journey to understand myself, and little did I know that it would be a 30-year journey. Not only did I understand myself, but I came to understand other people as well. I didn't know this is where I was going with it, but that's the benefit that you get from my 30 years of research. So it is called the Authenticity Grid, and essentially it says that all of us have three voices within us. We have an inner voice that no one hears but us. We have an outer voice, that's how people perceive us. And we have an expressive voice, which is who we have become. We also have three processes in terms of how we approach life and how we live our life. Some of us are thinkers, so we have think. Some of us are communicators, communicate. And some of us just love to make things happen, and we're doers. We're doers. And we need all of those energies. We need to think, communicate, do to be our authentic self. We also need our inner, outer, and expressive voices in order for us to be ourselves. Our inner voice is composed of three dimensions. You'll see these boxes under each and within the grid. And each of the boxes represents an energy. I refer to it as dimension. It's a dimension of who you are. It's also an energy of how you respond and how you act in the world. When I first created this grid and dissected myself, I named each of these boxes by an animal as I saw myself and the energy that that animal put out and how I saw myself putting that energy out. So that's why I refer to it as energy. We are all made up of energies that flow within us. And this is a way to understand the energies within. So you may hear me refer to them as energies or as dimensions, and I'll use them interchangeably. The inner voice has the three dimensions, the three energies. Intuition, our sixth sense, how we talk to ourselves. Our integrity, which is our value system, what's really important to us as we go through life. And our inspiration, what drives us, what makes things happen for us, what makes us get up and get out of bed and do something and move our lives forward. Then we have our outer voice, which represents how other people perceive us. People can look at you and they make an impression about you. They make an impression about your wellness. Are you healthy? Are you within your right weight? What size are you? How do you move around? What's your vitality? People make an impression about you by the people you associate with, your network, your quality and quantity relationships. And people make an impression about you by their view of your net wealth. And by net wealth on the Authenticity Grid, we mean abundance. We don't mean financial wealth. We're talking about what brings you abundance and joy. And on the expressive voice, that's who you have become. How the inner and outer voices come together to put you out there in the world. And the three dimensions there are, first, legacy. And legacy refers to your gifts and talents. Not what you leave for your heirs, but what was given to you at the time of your birth, your gifts and talents. Then there's likability, which refers to your personality, how you come across to other people, what joy you give them, the personality that you share with them, and also your lifestyle, your habits. What do you do day to day? Now, these are also on the grid based on whether they come across as a think energy, a communicate energy, or a do energy. The think energy are basically aptitudes, is what I'm trying to, aptitudes, ideas, energies. It's what you were born with. So when you look at intuition, you were born with a certain sixth sense. You had the choice of whether you develop it or not. You look at that wellness, you were born with certain DNA that you got from your family. How did you treat it? How did you grow with it? How did you take care of it? If you look at legacy, you were born with certain gifts and talents. They were given to you. How have you used them? So this is the think part, because they were given to you at the time of your birth. You didn't have to think about it, and they're the source of where your thinking comes. When you think about your net wellness, you're going in deep into your DNA. When you think about your legacy, you're going deep into your gifts and talents. When you think about intuition, you're going deep into your sixth sense. That's in contrast to communicate. How you communicate who you are to the world. You communicate your integrity by your values. People get to know you, and you just communicate by what's important to you. The people around you represent your values. Your friends represent your values. How you live life and what you do and what you say represent your values. And you communicate that to people. That's why it's in the communicate area. Likewise, network. The people you associate with, your quality and quantity relationships represent the people who are around you. That's your network. You communicate to people who you are by those who you associate with. And likewise, your personality communicates who you are to the people who you are surrounded by. Then the third energy is do, and that's getting up and making things happen, getting out of the seat, stopping the thinking, not necessarily communicating, but being active in your behavior when you're doing. And that's represented by inspiration, your drive, what drives you to move forward, what motivates you, what inspires you, what causes you to move forward. Your net wealth, your abundance and joy is what also inspires you and gives you drive and motivation to move forward. And then by your lifestyle, your disciplined habits, and how you go about living your life. All of these make up the authenticity grid. And you understand the authenticity grid in a deeper way. You will have a tool that will help you understand you, and it will also help you identify where you may have challenges in life and where you may be able to overcome some of the challenges that you're encountering. This is the authenticity grid. It represents 30 years of research. It can help you get deeper into you. It's all about self-awareness. And the more authentic you become, the more you connect with yourself in each of these 9 dimensions, the more you're going to know yourself. The more you know yourself, the more self-aware you are, the greater you are in a position to do whatever it is you want to do. Because you understand your strengths, you understand your vulnerabilities, and you make yourself accountable to allow your strengths to blossom and to share them and to find ways to fulfill the gaps that the vulnerabilities present in those things that you're not so strong about.